Okay, we're going to go ahead and start, and we welcome everybody who's here tonight. And it is Thursday, September 6th, 2018, and it is 5:30 p.m. We have with us tonight Dale Hanson, Business Administrator, Terry Rhodes, Board Member, Jeff Nelson, Board Member, Alan Grunig is excused, he's Board Member. I'm Kathy Christiansen, Board Member. Roger Pulsifer is excused, Board Member. Superintendent Norton, he's the Superintendent. Randall Bagley, Board Member, and Larry Jepson, Board Member. And we will go ahead and begin with the pledge, and that will be led by Jeff.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, and our mission statement is that our mission is to educate students for success in a changing world.
Thank you. Do we have any public input? I don't think we do. So we'll go ahead and have our reports, and Kurt Hanks is going to tell us about the proposed new drone club at Skyview.
First of all, I need to apologize for being the only thing on the agenda. I've already been chastised and talked to about it. I'll try not to
Thank you for being the only thing on the agenda so we could still have a meeting and get it over with. Thank you for not postponing your presence here.
Okay. And also, I was assured by my clubs that I'd have some people here this evening, and I'm not sure what happened, but we've got the 5 clubs, and the first one that you mentioned was the Sky Cats Club, I believe.
Oh, that's the only one I saw.
Oh, we had 5 of them.
Okay.
Sky Cats, which is basically a drone club, and John Chatham's got a bunch of kids involved with that. They've taken precautions to be very careful and obey the laws and the policies and the regulations with drones. Very responsible young man, and I don't know if you have any questions about that.
Sounds fun.
I thought theirs was very professionally done. I really like the way that they put a lot of effort into their clubs.
Okay. Is that the only one that you got?
No, we have them all.
I just didn't scroll down far enough
Okay.
to see the others, but I will before the next meeting. So
Okay.
I can read 'em.
All right. Should I
Yeah,
go to the next club?
yes.
Okay, we have the Skyview Newscast Club, which is a group that wants to put a podcast together, and I don't know if you have any questions about that one.
Will this be like morning announcements? Are they going to do something like that
I'm guessing,
as a newscast?
yeah, I'm guessing
thing?
that's the case. A lot of the kids involved in it are drama and music kids, and so I'm guessing they're going to want to emphasize a little bit more on their drama and music items. They always feel like they don't get quite enough publicity, and I'm guessing that might be the case. I don't know that for sure.
Well, I've just seen that Green Canyon has done, instead of just reading announcements every morning, they do a newscast every morning.
Yeah, we don't have, that's not what that is.
Okay.
And we don't have any plans for that. Right now, we don't have the technology to do that. But we still do have morning announcements and complaints about how long they are, or they weren't listening or whatever. But yes, we do have those every morning,
Okay.
as you know, Terry. Any other questions about that one? Okay, let's go on to the Kitty Litter Club. The Kitty Litter Club is basically a fancy name for a pep club, which we really haven't had for many years. Our exec council's kind of really talked this one up, and it's a creation by our exec council wanting to get students to be more involved in school activities, and they just want to support everything. All activities, all things going on, all things Skyview. They want to have a pep club, and they're going to reserve some front row seats at the different venues, and if you're in the pep club and have or kitty litter club, if you're in the kitty litter club and have a t-shirt, then there might be some seats reserved for you up front, and so that's what that's all about. And that's our exec council, which is a group of very responsible, great students. Okay?
I have a little bit of an issue with this one,
Okay.
with the application.
It was yeah,
Yeah,
There's one sentence, yeah.
very poorly done.
right.
And so, especially after looking at the drone one, right?
Well, and if they need to redo that and come back, I felt the same way.
I feel like they should.
Okay.
If they want it to be a viable club, then they should write it up like it's a viable club.
Okay. That'll help me because initially when I got it, it was left on my desk, and the only name for the applicant was Carson, just a first name. Took me about a week to figure out which Carson it was,
Yeah,
but it was one of my exec
yeah.
council members, so
I mean-
I'm good with that.
okay.
So
So-
maybe show them the other application
I'll
that's
do
done
it.
so well,
Yeah.
so they can see the difference.
No,
I'll do
that's
it.
the
Between them.
kitty litter.
Okay? Okay, so we'll take that one back to them, thank you, and I think that's good. We've also got a Dungeons and Dragons Club that we're proposing, and we've got a group of individuals that's very excited about that. Mainly be doing it at lunchtime, possibly sometimes before school and sometimes after school. Again, that game is still going on, and there's still some people that really love to play it. It was mentioned by some faculty members that I haven't been very successful in the real world, that maybe I should join there and I could be successful as a role player. I'm not sure if I'm going to join that or not, if there's an age limit, but that comment was made. I'm kind of offended by it, but it was made.
I didn't see an age limit on here, but the application sounds like it's an Austin Shank Club.
Yes. Well, he's got about 7 or 8 young men they're all young men thus far, and they're very excited about the club.
Very good. Sounds good.
I do have John here, and he's our person for the Sky Cats Club. I don't know if you've got any questions for him. We know that he did have a great application turned in, and so if you've got any questions, he knows a whole lot more about it than I do. Come on up, John.
So I have a question.
Sure.
On here, you list a lot of equipment that looks like it's high dollar or something like that, really technical, something I don't know much about, but anyway. And so will that be stored in Mr. Jones's room?
Yes, so he's got a couple rooms where we could lock it up and it would be safer. We don't want to leave it out in the open because it's a little bit more expensive. The reason why we wanted to go for a little bit more of an expensive drone is because some of these students don't have the opportunity to get a good drone. There is quadcopters that you can get out there. They're really cheap. They're like maybe a couple $100 or so. And they don't have a camera on them most of the time. They don't have very good controls. The reason why we want to go with a little more expensive one is it's better built and it has better controls. But it also has a camera typically. And this one is about $1,000 I'm holding right here. It's Mavic Air, and it's got a really good camera. This isn't necessarily the drone that we're going to go for as a club. It's slightly smaller, but still it's got a really good quality camera. So this is actually my dad's, and I've flown around once, and it's very easy to fly. Okay. And it's so it's very easy to fly. It's also got a lot of very easy controls to use to help control the camera and video, and it helps take very good photos compared to the $100 drones.
I think you've had about a dozen people that show interest in the club thus far.
Yeah, just about a dozen. So we may get more throughout the year. So
I bet you will have more throughout the year. Yeah.
On the application, the meeting times and places are not filled in?
okay.
So we were planning on meeting just in Mr. Jones's classroom on Wednesdays after school. I thought I filled that out, but maybe I didn't. I'm sorry about that.
Well, on our copies, we just have blanks.
Oh, okay.
The club will meet at blank, every blank in the blank.
Okay. Well, yeah, so we'll be meeting after school on Wednesdays. Typically, we'll be in Mr. Jones's room or at another designated place, maybe in a park or something like that.
Excellent. Thanks.
Yeah, good application.
Yeah, great application. And
Here's as a model.
Kathy?
I'd like you to get one of those drones that'll deliver my hamburger while I'm at the game.
Yeah, what's the payload, what's the capacity?
I'll be honest, I don't really know, so.
It needs to be at least a quarter pound.
Yeah.
One thing that really needs to be checked is, I know State Risk Management came out with some special restrictions on drone usage in schools, and we need to find out what kind of impact that has on us, whether special insurance had to be purchased if we were going to use that. I know when I talked with Mike, we didn't know of any instances where drones were being used in the high schools at this point, and so we kind of set it aside, but that's something I think we need to check out.
is that for privacy reasons or?
Liability.
Oh, like if it breaks and falls on someone?
Yeah.
So is someone going to look into that? Okay, and then will you get the information then maybe to John or someone?
So I do know that there are restrictions, like from the U.S., they're called FAA rules. There's some rules that help prevent some of those incidents that occur. There's also state laws about drone use, so we try to obey the law at all times. We also know there have been accidents at schools where people are trying to fly drones in the halls or in a basketball court, and those haven't been very successful. So if we were to fly a drone for an event, we'd definitely want to avoid the crowds because that can be a liability issue, we know, and it can cause a lot of issues with people that might be annoyed by the sound or whatever. So we try to stay at a distance, and probably also make sure the students that are flying the drone are trained and know the rules before they fly the drone.
Okay, well, we'll be voting on this in 2 weeks, so
Okay.
maybe if you want to make that a little more specific for us, that would be great. Okay, and I want to compliment you on how nice you look coming here tonight.
Thanks.
Very professional.
Thanks, John. Yeah, John does a great job. And here's your copy, John, you may want that. And then our last club, I think, is the Scoot Club. And basically, students that are interested in scooters. And they've got a new skate park over there in Smithfield. They've been, since that thing's gone up, they've been over there and having a good time with that. And I guess now with those skateboard parks, you can do rollerblades and skateboards and scooters and all kinds of things. And so that's basically what that club is. It's a group of individuals that likes to ride scooters.
Have we checked number 7, the liability, that we absolutely would not be liable if someone's injured?
We do have all of our clubs. We have parental permission forms, and they sign off on liability that Skyview's not responsible for any injuries or anything. That's a standard form that all of our clubs have to the members have to sign when we have clubs. He's just put there, as you can see, number 7, mandatory to wear a helmet at all times. And we've also had discussions, we need to make sure they just use their scooters in the appropriate locations.
And ask him to add a C to the word acquired.
Where is that?
Number 7,
Number 7?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
You know, I hate to be picky with the kids, but they probably ought to learn that if they're going to be submitting something for
Right,
approval, that it does need to be correct.
right.
Okay.
Appreciate that.
English teacher.
Well, that's true, so, okay.
Okay.
Are there any other questions on any of the clubs?
They sound
Are
fun.
there still signs at the schools that say no skateboards, scooters, rollerblades, et cetera, et cetera?
It doesn't, our signs that we currently have say no skateboards.
That's all?
That's all it says. We do ask students, we do ask them, any rolled, whether it be rolling shoes, or scooters, or whatever, once they hit school property, we ask them to pick that up and walk at that time. But our signs have not been updated. Our signs just say skateboards.
Okay.
And a couple of them have been vandalized, I'm sure not by skateboarders, but have been vandalized to say yes skateboards or something like that. We need to update those signs.
I just wondered if those signs did include that, where these kids would meet, but your explanation that they're going to meet at the Smithfield Skate Park.
Yeah, basically everything's off campus. This is kind of like our sand volleyball club, or our hiking club, our mountain biking club. Everything's pretty much done off campus.
Great, good for these kids.
Okay.
I wanted to get this started.
All right, thank you. So at this time, can I go back and tell my kitty litter club that it's already been determined they need to redo and get their application done appropriately and completely? Okay.
Please,
Okay.
if they want it approved at all, then they need a real application.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thanks. Okay, any questions or anything? All right, Jeff, you are up.
Okay, so I reached out to Tim and Kurt on our idea with this parent university.
Will you use your microphone?
Oh, yes, I'm sorry.
Thanks.
And what Kurt talked about an agenda that we would use in the meeting. What we're looking at is no more than an hour that we would meet. We would just give them the current state of the district and then where we're headed. The topics he addressed were our safety plans in the schools, mental health evaluation, or I don't know if that's the exact word, but mental health issues. He's got an idea of what he wants to do. So we would have a facilitator, and then Kurt would do the presentation, probably a PowerPoint, and then we would have a question and answer session right after that. He asked if we could wait until after the 8th of November, which is Utah Safe Schools he's preparing for, and I was thinking maybe, I talked to him today and I said, what about the next week? And he said that would be great before the Thanksgiving break.
Okay, and then how are you planning to get word to the parents about this, and where would it be held?
Well, what I thought is we could take maybe the first meeting at Ridgeline, and then we meet at Green Canyon for the next meeting. I don't want to do multiple meetings, just one at a high school, and we can switch back and forth between the north and south ends of the valley.
And that way we can see if people will actually attend?
Yeah, so we'll see how the first one goes, and then we can see maybe what kind of frequency we want to go
Okay.
on after that.
So, Superintendent, do we just let Kurt kind of work with Jeff, or does Carolyn need to be in on this, or
Well,
what do we do?
whoever you're coordinating what you're going to talk about, and is that through Tim or is that through Kurt? Who's
So
gonna-
Tim thought that Kurt would be better on this one with school safety.
Okay, so on this topic.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'd just work with him, then I'd use the PIO office to get your information out.
Right.
They are fantastic.
Once we firm up the details then.
Yeah.
Okay, do you need us to do anything at this point?
Well, that's the concept. Now I need to know what your thoughts are on it, and we
Okay.
can adjust from there.
All right, everybody, thoughts? Larry?
I think it sounds good. It's straightforward, it's simple, but it's something the public wants to hear about. They want to know.
And school safety was overwhelmingly the number one, so I have a Pareto of what the input is, and I just thought we'd work down the Pareto, so.
Okay, Randall?
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. It'll be interesting to see how it goes, if it's something that's going to have a lot of interest or if it's not. So it'll be very interesting to see how the first one turns out.
So Kurt just asked that the board it would work as the crowd control.
Okay. Perfect. All right, do you have any comments, Steve?
That's so Kurt. Yeah, I like I'm glad we're just gonna get out there and just do it, and let's see what kind of support we get. I didn't think that the legislative meetings would go as well as they have, and people have pretty much come out at about 100 a meeting. So I think it's well worth the shot. I think maybe after safety, if we went out and talked about how well our students are doing in relationship to other schools in the state.
Absolutely.
I think that people need to know just what they're supporting, how well the kids are doing.
Mm-hmm.
So that might be a topic that would be a nice follow-up. So.
And I'm gung-ho to give it a shot and happy to help with whatever you need help with. If you just let me know.
Okay.
Okay, Terry?
I don't know if people would show up to a meeting telling them how great our district is.
How great their kids are. There's a
Okay, how
difference.
great their kids are.
Oh.
I think that's something that's like Facebook fodder. Just because I don't know if anyone would come to that meeting. As a parent, I wouldn't.
Okay.
Well, so I'll bring you we'll bring the Pareto, and you can see what the data is, and then we can kind of decide where we want to go after that.
The safety thing, I love the idea because there are so many, it's on a lot of parents' minds.
So
PowerPoint though, as long as it's short.
yes, so when I say an hour, not to exceed, and he said that he envisioned about 15 to 20 minutes of the slides, and then we'd have question and answer after that.
As long as he doesn't put the slides up and then read them to us.
Yeah,
I agree.
I'm sure he won't.
I agree.
Kurt's, he's good. He'll be a good presenter. The other thing is he knows, we don't want full disclosure on this. We can't say everything about our plans, but we can at least give them enough information that people feel comfortable
Would
about.
this be a good time to let parents know what their role would be in an emergency
Sure.
situation, what our district is hoping they would do? Because it seems like we kind of react when that happens instead of acting according to the plan. And maybe that's something that could be brought out.
Absolutely.
Is that we have to keep track of the kids. Parents can't just come and grab them and take them away because we are responsible for them. But however he works that out for what the parents would be responsible for or need to do.
Yeah, that'd be a great topic to share with them what our expectations would be of the parents.
Okay. Dale, do you have any comments? Okay.
So we were targeting either the Wednesday or Thursday after the 8th. Let me see. Do you have a preference on a night that I could start working down that to see if...
We have a board meeting on that Thursday.
Okay, that may settle the question.
On the 15th, is
Yeah,
that right?
I was
Am
thinking
in the right
14th.
week?
Yep, 14th or 15th.
Okay.
So we'll go 14th.
All right. Should I just keep putting you on the
Yeah.
board committee report? You can kind of update us.
Yeah, so
go
as
along.
we work out what this presentation is going to be, we want to run through it a few times with everybody to, make sure we're all feeling good about it.
Okay.
When were you thinking?
November the
Okay,
15th.
all right.
14th.
Okay.
14th?
Yeah, the 15th would be a board meeting, so.
14th.
Yeah, you don't want to get it any closer to Thanksgiving, I can tell you
Yeah.
that, so.
Okay. Any of the district people have anything you want to comment on it? Suggestions?
Well, not on that, just a couple other things.
Okay.
The school land trust training, you all got your dates on that.
Yes, thank you.
Yes. Yeah. In fact, I have that down for my report. So, once again, Mike has consented to do the school lands trust training.
You're a good man, Mike.
He does a fantastic job, and it'll be Wednesday, October the 3rd at Ridgeline, and Tuesday, October the 9th at Green Canyon, and we need to attend one of them. They start at 6:30, and we've got the information about it, which is great. And then this Saturday, everybody knows it's the cash high at 5. And I talked to Nikki today or yesterday, I think it was today, and we'll start inside and then move out. So I guess meet inside first, be there a little bit before.
Okay.
Okay. All right, and then once again, since our goal is to train from our handbook, I just put down here the board responsibilities, which look like they're pretty simple. There's only 6 of them here. But did anybody go in and read the Utah Code? Have you had a chance to do that yet?
There's a lot of stuff there.
Yes, I have.
I opened it and then.
Okay, so
Well, you can go to your left there and get any answer you need. So,
that's right. If you have any questions on any of that, ask Terry because she's our authority on it.
No, I'm not. I just know where to find it.
So this is the, let me see, this is the wrong code number that's up there now on our document here because they've changed all of them. But,
didn't she changed it on yours?
yeah, but it is changed on mine. Do any of you want the
Didn't get it
correct
changed
one?
here. Okay, well,
It's 53, excuse me, 53G-4-402. And even though there's a lot of things on here, it says that the local school board shall or may, and as I interpret that, it's not really our responsibility to do all of that, it's just to make sure that that's happening in the district, is that correct?
correct.
And then the district does it. So I marked down a couple of things. If you go to number 12 on this list, open up your powers and duties code and go to number 12. A board may, on its own behalf or on behalf of an educational institution for which the board is in direct governing body, accept private grants, loans, gifts, endowments, devises, or bequests that are made for educational purposes. So I just had a question on this. Does this mean we can fundraise? We can find people who will donate and say, yeah,
Oh, I think you'd want to just use your foundation, but
just have them
yeah.
donate to that.
Yeah.
But we can go out and say,
Oh, yeah.
would you
Yeah,
like
I
to
don't-
go be a donate?
I don't think there's
donor?
ever been any thing that would prohibit that. There hasn't been a great desire
To do that.
to do it.
But, you know,
yeah.
something might come up sometime, and I think it's just good for us to know. We
Well, I
can-
think they put it in there because as elected officials, we can't be we have to be careful with fundraising issues for ourselves. So it just spells out that for the board, for our district, we can do that legally.
Okay,
And there's no limit on the amount or anything like that.
okay. I know several years ago when Skyview needed some money for a new, what was it, Dale, in their gym? A new,
Football stadium or the?
no, oh, the basketball court. They needed a new sign. Anyway, I asked Young Auto if they would donate it, and they did, $2,500. So, you know, sometimes we're in the right place at the right time, and so feel free to raise money. Okay. Okay. Then number 17, I wondered about this one, so maybe you can help me out with this, Steve. A board shall establish for each school year a school traffic safety committee.
Yeah, we do have that.
Do that.
Yeah, by law, we have to do that, and we have to declare safe routes. That's all taken care of.
Okay.
Yep.
It's also part of the school community council responsibilities, the school traffic safety thing.
Okay. And then there's one other that I wondered about. Not wondered, but I just thought this was kind of a fun one. 20. A board shall do all other things necessary for the maintenance, prosperity, and success of the schools and the promotion of education. So I guess we're kind of district cheerleaders as well.
Yeah.
All right. Anybody have any questions or concerns about any of this? Anything that was unclear? Okay. All right. We'll move on down then to the superintendent district report. And I asked Steve if he would comment a little bit on one of the questions that was put down for our retreat, which we never got a chance to cover. How can we get the community to be more supportive in our district?
And you know, I have nothing.
Okay.
I think what I'd like to do is, I've got a superintendent's meeting on Monday. I'd like to just ask and see if anybody's doing anything out there out of the ordinary that they think has caused people. But I'll just be blunt honest with you. I think what we're doing in this district in educating children as well as we do is the very best thing we can do to get community support. So I think that's the purpose of our school district. That's the reason we exist, is to educate children. And we're just doing a really, really fine job of that. But there could be some other things out there that people are doing. But I've struggled ever since we talked about it. You know, I think school community councils are really important, and so is support of PTA. So one of the things that I picked up from Davis at one point in my career was paying the dues for teachers to be members of PTA. Small amount, but it just goes over really well. The parents feel good about it. Teachers feel like, okay, that's one less thing I have to put my own money out for, and they all become members of the PTA because we picked that up, and that I think generated a whole lot of goodwill between PTAs and the district. We do almost anything they want. We provide them meeting spaces. We do their printing for them. We do a whole lot of things. So that's going on all the time. Somebody just commented, sitting in the stands the other day, another superintendent said, boy, when things are going well on the football field, a lot of problems go away. And I'll just tell you, that's the truth. If the community, there's nothing that brings the community out in the numbers that we get than the football season. And those schools that have winning teams, a lot of issues go away during that time. And but I think just giving kids lots of opportunities, and I, like last year when Green Canyon announced the senior cheerleaders, and 5 of the 7 had never been a cheerleader before. I mean, that's amazing. So they'd gone through 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and we create a new school and they become cheerleaders. So I think that happens across the district in all kinds of areas because we created the 4 schools. I think what you do as a board matters, and how the public feels. So I think when there's no contention up here and there's support, I think that does an awful lot towards winning approval of the people who support our system. Today I just took around and visited some schools, drove the whole west side, and I just thought, this time of year when we're harvesting and school starts, and you think of all the farm families we have that support our district far more than what Logan would have, just because of the terrain we cover. And those parents trust us every year and send their kids back to us. And I think the best thing we can do to earn their support is to educate their kids. So with that, I'm just going to tell you, this is hot off the press. I went in today to Robin earlier in the day, and I said, Robin, I got notification the scores are out. I said, are we still the top performing district? She said, I can't verify it for sure, but it sure looks like it. Mike just handed me. So here's the district percent proficient, sorted. And we'll give a full report of this in the future, but this just came out. So this is the districts listed in the percentage of kids that are proficient. Cash District is number 1 in English Language Arts, number 1 in math, and number 1 in science. Who's right behind us pushing us? Park City. And here's the difference. In language arts, we have 55, almost 56% of our kids. They have 52%. In mathematics, we have 63, almost 64%. Park City comes in, well, they're actually not second. I have to drop down here a bit to North Summit. And I can tell you North Summit has been one of those districts that has sent caravans to our district to learn what we're doing, and it's paying off for them. So They're number 2 in math, and they're at the 58th. And then science, we're at 60, and Park City is pushing us at 59.98. So we just barely edged them out. But right across the whole top is Cache School District listed. You want to know the top 10? It's kind of interesting. In most areas, they just follow straight down. But like I said, North Summit is an outlier because they're only, they are pretty good in English language arts too. So anyway, it's Cache, Park City, Beaver, Morgan, Alpine, Murray, Wayne, Davis, South Summit, North Summit, Washington Canyons, Juab, Box Elder, Tinnick, Iron, Provo. Districts that are close to us in demographics, Provo would be one of them. Box Elder's pretty much like us. Canyons, way up high on the East Bench. We're doing quite well in relationship to all those. So it's hats off to the teachers and principals who are doing everything. Mike, do you want to tell us about high school individual results?
Yeah, Robin just told me the night before I came up here, said Ridgeline High School is top of the state in all 3 categories, except in tech, got up in 1 category, the charter school, which is, we claim one of our schools to more than us, but all 4 of our high schools are in the top 10.
That's amazing.
That's great. Congratulations for all the hard work. Wow.
There'll be a report come out on that, and boy, I think it's a celebration for our teachers and
I do too. So
students.
what do we do for them because of that? Do we do anything?
Well, and
We just say thank you.
it's a day-to-day, I think it's a day-to-day activity. I mean, we do our opening social, we do our closing social, we do something during Education Week, and we try to help them during the Christmas season. But I think it's a day-to-day interaction with them, letting them know that they're valued and appreciated, and that what we do, I think that's just a day-to-day, and it comes from the district staff and from principals and parents. I think parents are the ones that sometimes we don't hear enough from, and maybe that's something we could coach them on. Put their arms around some teachers and tell them thank you for what you're doing for our kids.
Well, and then we've got our thank you cards and email and visits, so let's do our part in letting them know that we.
And I think the fact that we put as much money as we can and should in the last few years towards teacher salaries, I think that's our way of saying we like what you're doing.
All right, anything else that we need to talk about? All righty then, if there's nothing else, then this meeting is adjourned. And I'll just meet with Jeff and Larry for a second.